Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kwame Chumisi. This video is going to be a really quick one. So I received a lot of DMs like the one above. Most people wants to know if Australia is actually giving out visas to nurses and teachers to migrate to Australia, and their visas are going to be processed within 3 days. So in this video, we are going to do a deep dive together to understand if this is true or not. Disclaimer number one, I'm not a migration agent. Everything I'm going to share with you today is from pure research and also from my experience living in Australia. Disclaimer number two, Australian immigration keeps changing the laws, okay? So what the information I'm going to share with you today may not be applicable in few months or few years to come. Without talking too much, I'm going to share my screen so we do the deep dive together. See you on the other side. Okay guys, so Australians actually giving out visas for nurses and teachers within 3 days. To help with this, let's quickly go on Google and do 3 days visa for nurses and teachers in Australia. Okay, so I'll click on enter. Then when we come down here, there's an article from sbs.com.au, as you can see here. So I think most people are referring to this article and are also watching YouTube videos. Okay, so when we click on this article right here, it says visas in 3 days for teachers and nurses who wants to come to Australia. Okay, so this article was actually based on an interview SBS had with one of the staff members that was that works in immigration. Okay, and they actually said that they were processing visas for nurses and teachers that were living offshore and wanted to come to Australia within 3 days. This is actually true. Okay, so when we come all the way down here, it says that the Department of Home Affairs says the new ministerial direction number 100, I'm going to click on this link later, which directs department staff to perform certain actions, now prioritizes visas in the health and education sectors. So this is actually true. Australians need a lot of nurses and teachers, and now they've actually put measures so the staff members that are actually working in immigration can prioritize any visas that is got to deal with nurses and teachers, okay, and other occupations. I'm going to share all those links with you later. Also, immigration departments has also employed a lot of people so they can clear a lot of these backlogs. So when we go to another article over here, it says 3 million visas processed, backlog down to 755,000. So the Australian government had over 3 million visas that were there to be processed, okay, but now since they introduced this new ministerial direction number 100, they've been able to process a lot of visas, and they've now cut down a lot of visas to 755,000. okay, and this article was also on 16th of November 2022. So this is good news. Okay, so if you're a nurse and you're a teacher and you want to come to Australia, this is your time. If you go through the proper channel, and again I'm going to hammer on that, the proper channel, your visa will be processed within 3 days. And this is coming from someone that works in in the immigration department. Now let's click on this link. It says that processing priority for skilled visa applications. Skilled visa applications are processed according to the government policies priorities, which are outlined in the ministerial direction number 100. So the following skilled visas are subject to ministerial direction number 100. So all these subclasses will be prioritized, okay, based on the sort of occupation you want to apply. Again, visa subclass 482 is here. There are other channels, okay, that are not employer sponsored. Again, I'm going to create another video to explain that other visa subclasses to you, okay, so to explain almost all these other visa subclasses to you. When we come down further, it says skilled visa applications are processed in the following order of priority. So the number 1 says visa applications in relation to a healthcare and teaching occupation. So if you're a teacher and you are or a nurse, or you're working in a healthcare and you live offshore outside of Australia, and you go through the right channel, you get all your English tests done, you get your skills assessment done, and you put through your visa application, your visa is going to be processed within 3 days. So this is no joke. Now, is this just limited to teachers and nurses? No. So if you work in the healthcare or teaching occupations, so this can mean all these occupations here. So health professionals, school teachers, health and welfare support workers, childcare centers, center managers, medical scientists, counselors, psychologists, social workers, medical technicians, and also school principal, childcare worker, age or disabled carer, nursing support worker, personal care assistant. So if you have skills in all these, yep, you can actually apply to come to Australia and work, and trust me, your visa will be processed within 3 days. So what does this mean? I actually want to take time and explain this part, okay? This doesn't mean that if you are living outside of Australia and you're a nurse and you're a teacher, you can straight away go and apply for a visa. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so if you want to migrate to Australia as a skilled worker, again, you need to make sure you go through the skills assessment based on the sort of occupation you're coming in here. Let me share my other screen. So for example, if you're a teacher and you want to migrate to Australia, this is what you need to do. Okay, first go to AITSL. Okay, so I'm going to leave all this website in the description section below. So this is for teachers that wants to migrate to Australia. Go to the Australian Institute for Teaching and School Leadership. Okay, AITSL. And when you go there, go to the Migrate to Australia link. Okay, and go to the before applying. So this will basically give you what sort of documentation or the criteria, okay, they are looking for. So you need to make sure you get your skills assessments done with AITSL. Once you get the approval, before you can actually go and look for an employer to sponsor you, or Australia got something called the Skills Select System. It's where you actually put your EOI, which is expression of interest, in. Then the Australian government is going to send you an invitation to apply for a visa. And once your visa is approved, you'll be able to come with your family to Australia permanently, to live in Australia permanently. I'm going to again do a video on the Skills Select System. Okay, so if you want to come here as a teacher, please make sure you go and get your skills assessment done. This is really, really important. So when we come down here, make sure you go through this list, okay? And again, they've got all the other occupations in regards to teaching here. So early childhood, you click on this link, and this is going to open a PDF as to what you need, okay? I'm not going to go into details, but again, if you want me to do a detailed tutorial as to how to come to Australia as a teacher, I'm happy to do a detailed tutorial for you guys. So if you're thinking of coming here as a teacher, make sure you register on AITSL and get your skills assessment done. Go to the Migrate to Australia. They've got a lot of information there to help you out. If you want to come to Australia as a nurse, again, get your IELTS done. The IELTS also, the same thing applies to teachers, okay? Make sure you get that done. Get your IELTS done and make sure you score band 7 in all of the components, at least band 7. This is really, really important. And once you get that done, also come to AHPRA, okay? Come to AHPRA and make sure you go through the skills assessments with AHPRA. AHPRA will need to make sure your the sort of skill set you have overseas meets the Australian standard. And once you get AHPRA approved, you'll be able to migrate to Australia as a nurse, okay? So what is AHPRA? AHPRA is basically Australia Health Practitioner Regulatory Authority, okay? So every registered nurse or midwife in Australia is registered with AHPRA, okay? So for example, on their website here, when I go to the name or registration number, I can type in, let's say, Akuma, okay? And here it says Miss Felicia Akuma is a nurse, okay? And they are based at St. Mary's, New South Wales, okay? I can go maybe AMA. Again, so when I go AMA, it's going to bring out all the, what they call registered nurses, or what they call it, midwives or doctors, that are registered with AHPRA, okay? When I go Akua, so these are all Ghanaian African names, okay? It says Miss Akua, okay? A nurse, another Miss Akua Safwa, okay, midwife, okay, Miss Equia Ferguson, midwife at Northwest NSW. Okay, so AHPRA is basically they regulate every health practitioner in Australia. Okay, so you need to make sure you get your skills assessment done with AHPRA. So again, if you're a nurse, I'm going to leave this link. So this is like completing a self-check. So self-check will basically take you through some questionnaires as to the sort of degree you have, okay, the sort of degree you have, the sort of experience you have, when you graduated from uni, blah blah blah. And once you finish with the self check, it's going to let you know if you qualify to register with AHPRA to get your skills assessment done with them. Okay, so I'm going to leave this link, completing the self check with AHPRA, in the description section below. When you go to the completing the self check, go to the, you can please read through all this. Then when you go to the last link here, you can maximize that. Then you click on commence self-check. So when you click on that, this will take you through a series of questionnaire, okay? And this system will let you know if you qualify to have your skills assessment done with AHPRA or not. Again, if you want me to do a detailed tutorial on how to go through this process, I'm happy to do that for you. Again, if you want to come here as a social work, okay, social worker, you need to get your skills assessment done with AASW, which is Australian Association of Social Workers. Okay, so assessment for international qualification for migration and or employment purposes. Make sure you have your skills assessment done with them. If you want to come here as a community worker, again, make sure you have your skills assessment done with ACWA. Okay, Australian Community Workers Authority. Okay, this is really, really important. You go to get a skills assessment, click on the link and follow. Okay, it's really, really important. So do not just go and start applying, looking for a visa to apply. It doesn't work that way. Make sure you have your skills assessment done. And also, if you're not living in UK, US, Canada, New Zealand or Ireland, then you need to make sure you have your IELTS done, and make sure you score at least band 7 in all of the components. All right, so this marks the end of this tutorial, guys. So can you migrate to Australia as a nurse or teacher within 3 days? Yes. Once you have your skills assessment done and you meet all the requirements, once you put your visa application through, your visa is going to be processed within 3 days. But without your skills assessment and also your IELTS, do not even bother, okay? Make sure you go through this channel. If you want me to do a detailed tutorial on all these, I'm happy to do that for you, but I need a lot of people to say that, hey, we want you to do a detailed tutorial, and I'm going to do that for you. My name is Kwame Chumisi. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.